Yes, that is right. You heard me correctly. Payton Thorne, the starting quarterback for Auburn football, has been benched for the backup, Hank Brown, and it's for a good reason. Now, as far as it goes for Mr. Payton Thorne, it's time to create that DoorDash driver account, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you had a great week. Hope all of you are currently having a great Friday. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, I hope you're ready for a jam-packed and a really interesting video. The main topic of this video is a developing story I've been following very closely, is that Auburn is benching their starting quarterback, Payton Thorne, for the backup. Like I said, this is a developing story, and there's a good reason for Payton Thorne being benched. To go on top of that, we have two other minor topics we're going to speak on, and I hate to label them as minor because in the college football world, they're a pretty big deal. Alabama just got great news heading into their matchup, which is going to be played in less than 24 hours. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and also Colorado. No, we're not here to talk about the Colorado versus Colorado State game, but something wild just happened at their home field and stadium. Let's just say it got somewhat vandalized in a weird and strange way. I think it's more than safe to say we got a good one for your Friday evening. Strap in, buckle up, get you a snack, get you a popcorn, get your favorite meal you like to eat and watch a video, because trust me, I do the same thing. But alright, Matt, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Hold on. Before we get into this video, I haven't looked at the comment section in about 24 hours, so let's see what's going on there. Let's see if it's calmed down a little bit. I normally like to do that when it's getting kind of crazy. Wait a minute, what? Why is your username MattBSanta23? Wait, is that White Randy as your profile pic? Yeah, that's most definitely White Randy anyways. Matt be getting all the girls in the comment section. Hashtag Matt be getting the hot Tua for bots. What in the actual fudge is this comment? Matt gave Kirk Herbstreit the hawk Tua at the Diddy party? What? And the whole time Matt didn't have socks on, so we know what that means? I wish y'all could see my face. The utter disgust. What is this comment? Nah, who wrote this? Jacob? Yeah, that's a strike, buddy. Two more of those, and we gotta get you out of here. That's crazy. You know, I might have to put a ban on the comment section. We might not have to read comments for like 48 hours or something. Yo, Matt, my friend said he seen you at the Bills-Miami game and you were in the bathroom eating a beaver tail on your knees? I'm normally good with my words and very rarely am I left speechless, but I don't know what to say about that. You know, let's just get back on track with the football stuff. All right, first things first, we're going to start with Bama. And major shout out to Rex Reed on Twitter for sending me this, because if he didn't send it to me, I wouldn't have saw it. Well, I would have saw it, but I wouldn't have seen it as quickly. You get what I'm trying to say. By the way, if there's any big time news going on in the college football world, it really helps on the channel and it helps me out. When you tweet it to me or add it to me, either of those things. Yet again, major shout out to Rex, and let's take a look at this. Alabama star offensive tackle Caden Proctor is expected to make his season debut tomorrow at Wisconsin. I know some of you are sitting here going, all right, Matt, let's get a move on, not a big deal, but I beg to differ. This Alabama football team, what has been their biggest problem the first couple of weeks if you watch them played? And what have I been harping on? The offensive line. It's been terrible. And a main reason for their lack of success is because they haven't had their star offensive tackle, Caden Proctor. Well, now he's coming back, and I'm not saying this Alabama offensive line is going to turn into a top 5 offensive line unit in the nation, but they should be much improved. Be on the lookout for that. If Caden Proctor starts and you see Alabama bullying Wisconsin, this is why. Because I tell you right now, without Caden Proctor, Alabama is nowhere close to being as good as they are with him. Big time news there. Second topic I want to get into is take a look at this. So yesterday, somebody's crazy uncle decided after work he was going to take a drive in his truck. Well, then out of nowhere at 8 p.m. and a lot of people were concerned with what was going on, this was tweeted out by the Colorado Boulder Police. CU emergency alert. Heavy police presence at Folsom Field. Avoid the area. When you see that tweet with no context, I mean, your mind, I'm not going to get into all this too much, but it's just roaming freely. You don't know what's going on and you expect the worst. I said you expect the worst. Matt, come on, buddy. It's expect the worst. You get what I'm trying to say. Nobody knew what was going on. Well, come to find out, and I'll show you this picture right here. As you can see, there is a truck on the middle of the field, and you can see tire marks where he sort of messed the field up, and I guess you'd go as far as just saying he vandalized it, right? Truck's got a bunch of stuff in the back of it. There's crap all over the field, and you see this man in the bottom left. Come to find out, that was the problem with all of this. This guy, I don't even know How did he get onto the field? Was there just an opening to where a truck could drive through it? I have so many questions. Look at what somebody posted. I mean, this is what makes college football college football. You can't make it up. This doesn't happen in any other sport. You got this guy with this truck that's beat up. I mean, he's terrorizing the field, and here he is throwing his arms up like, what are you going to do about it? There's not too much more to be said about this outside of don't do drugs. I thought that was really interesting. Want to share with you guys. But moving along here to the main topic, the main encore, main reason you clicked onto this video. What in the world is going on in Auburn, Alabama? Before we get into what's going on, I gotta give you some context, and let's try to run through this. Last year, it's Hugh Freeze's first season. Payton Thorne, he's your quarterback for the entire year. It was an up and down season, but Auburn fans, they weren't expecting much. They knew they were in rebuild mode. Well, now, fast forward time in the year 2 with Payton Thorne and Hugh Freeze, it's put up or shut up. There's no more excuses, and fans aren't going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Year 1's like, whatever, cool to suck, but year 2, it's like, okay, we need to see some progression. Did Auburn fans expect to compete for a national championship this year? No, absolutely not, but they most certainly expected to beat California. Speaking of California, that's what stirred up this whole pot. Payton Thorne, he had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 INTs in that ball game. There's no way to put it. When you have 4 interceptions in one game, you played pretty dang bad. And even outside the interceptions, I've already said this before, but he was making terrible throws, throwing the ball behind receivers. It wasn't good. I think you get the point. However, following the loss is when Auburn fans were like, nope, we're tired of it. We want to see Hank Brown. We want to see the backup. Can't blame them for being tired of the Payton Thorne experience because obviously it hasn't worked out. And why this caught me off guard, and I would say some other people, is because the feeling and vibes we were getting from Hugh Freeze is he was going to continue to roll with Payton Thorne even this week. He even admitted, yeah, Payton Thorne didn't play great and he's got to do better, but it still seemed like he was insinuating he was the guy. And he even said something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, in practice Payton Thorne has been the better guy and it hasn't even been close. It just hasn't translated over to the real games. Last time we talked about this situation, I gave you guys my 2 cents and I'll give it to you again. I stated word for word. When I was in high school, I played with guys just like that. 2 guys I remember in particular would bust our butts in practice. I'm talking about on the basketball court. They looked like the second coming of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. And then when we got to the game, it was Mr. Freeze. It's like they never saw basketball before. It's not an uncommon thing. There's guys that are amazing in practice, but when those lights turn on, they crumble like a cookie. And apparently, according to Freeze, that's what's been happening to Payton Thorne. In practice, he's a second coming of Tom Brady, but in the games, as we see, he looks like DJ Oogabadoogie from Florida State. And what I said is this right here. The definition of insane is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. By trotting out Payton Thorne on that field every Saturday, that's what you're doing. Why not give Hank Brown or whoever else you want to throw out there a chance? Because worst case scenario, Hank Brown does awful, and then you're back to square one. It's a win-win. If he does good, hey, you found your new guy. If he does bad, well, you just go back to Payton Thorne. There's no negative in this situation. The quarterback play can't get much worse. You either find out, hey, we got a better quarterback, or B, okay, I was right all along. Payton Thorne is the guy. That's where I stood on this a few days ago. I think we last talked about this on Monday, right? Or maybe it was Tuesday. I'm not too sure. It was a few days ago. Well, now sources are coming out with the information that Hank Brown, he is getting the start against New Mexico. Yes, that is right. You heard me correctly. Payton Thorne, the starting quarterback for Auburn football, has been benched for the backup Hank Brown, and it's for a good reason. Before we talk a little bit more about Payton Thorne, let's talk about Auburn's new quarterback, Hank Brown, who I assume 90% of you, or maybe 98% of you, have no idea what this guy's about, or you probably didn't even know his name before this video. Of course, like any D1 SEC quarterback, he dominated in high school. So if you expect me to hype up what he did in high school, I'm not going to do that. I'm also not going to sit up here and hype up what he's done in the spring practices or fall practices or whatever he's done at Auburn, because I don't care what you do in practice. The best part about Hank Brown, and all you need to know, is it's a new face. It's a different quarterback, and who knows what can happen? He could be really, really good, or he could also be really, really bad. We don't know, and that's what makes it exciting. With Payton Thorne, it was going to continue to be the same Saturday, just over and over and over on repeat. It's going to be like Groundhog Day. It's a very similar situation to Florida. It's just nice to see a new face in there, and you need a spark. Auburn and Florida are currently 2 of the worst programs in the SEC, and when you're that bad, you just need something to excite not only your team, but your fan base. And the best way to excite your fan base is by how? We know this. Putting a new quarterback in there. I'm not going to try to even predict how Hank Brown's going to do against New Mexico because we ain't even seen him really play too much. I'll leave it at this to Mr. Hank Brown. Wishing you the best of luck and good luck in the future. Now, as far as it goes for Mr. Payton Thorne, it's time to create that DoorDash driver account, buddy. It's over, man. You were mediocre at Michigan State. You were mediocre at Auburn. It's time to get a job. You're pushing 30, my man. It's time to grow up and start focusing on your future. And I can assure you this much, playing quarterback is not in your future. On a serious note, Payton Thorne will play in this game, and he'll play more moving forward, but if I was an Auburn fan, I just want to move on from that chapter. Auburn's not going to be competing for anything meaningful this year, so you might as well groom Hank Brown. At least that's how I view it. And I'm not saying that as in, oh, you should just throw this season away to prepare Hank Brown. No, it's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is Payton Thorne isn't going to lead you to the promised land anyways. The guy's just not that good of a quarterback. It is what it is. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below. But, Roman,